Psychology facts about women. The hidden truth about female nipples. There comes a point in life when you start asking different questions. You look back on your experiences not just with love, aging, or your body, but with a kind of quiet wisdom. You realize there are things you never fully understood about yourself, or maybe things you were never allowed to understand. One of those quiet questions that often goes unspoken, especially for women over 50, is about pleasure. Not just intimacy with someone else, but how your own body responds today. We're exploring something that's rarely talked about yet deeply personal, why nipple sensitivity varies so much among women, and what that tells us about female pleasure psychology and body awareness. Let's begin with a simple truth. Every woman's body is different, and nowhere is that more evident than in how women respond to touch. For some, nipple stimulation can feel incredibly pleasurable, even powerful. For others, it might feel neutral or even uncomfortable. And believe it or not, none of these reactions are wrong. They're simply part of a broad and deeply personal spectrum. What's fascinating is that the way a woman experiences touch in this area is shaped not just by biology, but by her mind, her emotions, her memories, and even the environment she's in. Biologically, the nipple is one of the most sensitive areas on a woman's body. It's packed with nerve endings more than many other parts of the skin, and it's directly connected to the brain through pathways that light up during moments of emotional and physical intimacy. Neuroscience shows us that nipple stimulation can activate the same areas in the brain as genital stimulation that means pleasure. Here isn't just skin deep, it's deeply tied to how a woman's brain processes connection, trust, and arousal. But just because something is capable of producing pleasure doesn't mean it always does, and that's where the psychology comes in. For many women, especially those over 50, their relationship with their breasts, and particularly their nipples, has changed over time. It may have started with puberty, where shame and secrecy were attached to this part of the body. Then came years of covering up, hiding, maybe nursing children, or navigating how partners responded over time. The meaning of the breast shifted from something deeply personal to something constantly watched, judged, or sexualized. And when a woman feels she has to protect, defend, or perform with her own body, it becomes much harder to simply feel it. That's one reason why some women experience a kind of numbness, not just physically, but emotionally. It's not that their body can't respond, it's that the connection between mind and body has been interrupted by years of shame, criticism, or even indifference. And this happens quietly. Maybe a partner once made an insensitive comment, maybe society's messages about aging bodies chipped away at confidence, maybe medical issues like surgery, menopause, or trauma left the area feeling disconnected. Whatever the reason, the result is the same. Many women begin to tune out from their own pleasure. On the other hand, some women find that as they age, nipple sensitivity becomes more important, not less for them. It's not just a place of stimulation, but a source of emotional intimacy. During moments of closeness, a simple touch on the chest can signal comfort, trust, or desire. And because the nipples are linked to oxytocin, the hormone responsible for bonding stimulation in this area, can create powerful feelings of connection and oxytocin. This is especially true in long-term relationships where emotional closeness often matters more than novelty or performance. When a woman feels safe, accepted, and desired, not for how she looks but for who she is, her body can respond in deeper and more meaningful ways. It's also worth noting how hormonal changes affect sensitivity. During menstruation, pregnancy, or menopause, hormone levels shift and fluctuate. This can make the nipples feel more tender, more sensitive, or even temporarily unresponsive. Some women find that after menopause they feel more sensation than ever before. Others feel less. Neither is good or bad. It's simply how the body evolves over time. What matters most is awareness. When a woman understands her own rhythms, she can stop comparing herself to old versions of herself or to anyone else and start responding with compassion to what her body needs. Now here's where things get even more interesting. The same touch can feel completely different depending on how it's given. A rushed or disconnected touch, even from someone you love, can feel invasive or uncomfortable, but a slow, intentional touch, grounded in care and respect, can awaken parts of the body that haven't responded in years. This shows us that sensitivity isn't just physical, it's psychological. It depends on how safe a woman feels, how emotionally connected she is in the moment, and whether she's fully present in her own body. That's why communication is so important. Many women hesitate to talk about what feels good or what doesn't. They worry about hurting their partner's feelings, or they've been taught to keep quiet about pleasure. But silence creates confusion when couples, especially in midlife and beyond, begin to talk openly about what feels good, what doesn't, and how things have changed. Something beautiful happens. They stop performing, they start listening, and they build a new kind of intimacy, one that's rooted in reality, not fantasy. It's also important to remember that sensitivity can return even after years of feeling disconnected. Our bodies are more resilient than we think. With patience, touch, and care, the connection can be rebuilt. It's not about recreating the past, it's about rediscovering what feels good now. That might mean exploring the body in a new way. It might mean spending time alone, learning what brings comfort or excitement. It might mean telling a partner, try this instead, or I need to go slower. And that kind of honesty is not weakness, it's strength. It's how women reclaim their bodies, not just as vessels of function or appearance, but as homes of feeling, sensation, and joy for men watching. This might be the first time you've heard this perspective. You may not have realized how sensitive this topic is, both physically and emotionally for women. But here's what matters. You have the power to make your partner feel seen, respected, and safe. When a woman feels truly respected, not just admired, but accepted, she naturally becomes more open to connection, and that includes physical connection. It doesn't take tricks or pressure. It takes patience, presence, and kindness. That's what ignites real intimacy, not just in the body, but in the heart for women. It's time to let go of old ideas that no longer serve you. Your body is not broken, your pleasure is not over, and your nipples, whether sensitive, numb, tender, or responsive, are still part of your story. They may have fed children, they may have survived surgeries, they may have been misunderstood or ignored, but they are yours, and that means you get to decide what they mean now. Not society, not the past, not anyone else. The truth is, pleasure is not about perfection. It's not about being young or looking a certain way or responding in a specific timeline. It's about feeling alive in your own skin. It's about giving yourself permission to feel, to explore, to change, and to reconnect. You are not too late. You are not too old. You are exactly where you need to be to learn something new about yourself and to love yourself in a deeper, fuller way. So whether you feel everything or nothing at all, whether you've just begun to explore this part of yourself or you're rediscovering it after years, know this: your sensitivity is not a problem. It's not a flaw. It's part of your emotional map, a guide. And if you listen closely, it will tell you what you need, what feels right, what brings you joy. And that journey at any age is worth taking. If this video gave you something to think about, something that helped you feel seen or reminded you that your body is still worthy of attention and care, then you're in the right place. Here we talk honestly about things most people avoid, about female psychology, about real intimacy, about aging identity, and what it means to feel at home in your own body. So if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, join this community of thoughtful people who are ready to see beyond the surface, who know that growing older doesn't mean growing disconnected. It means growing deeper, more curious, more human. We're just getting started, and I'd love for you to be part of the journey